Hey guys, it's Mike with another Gilded Guardian Spotlight video. Today we're going to talk about Derisda. So she's probably one of the top performing epics in the game. Her and Tuskrug are probably the ones I see the most used, as well as Flix and Aquyrus. But she is a very cool champion. She's a Hydrus, Agility, Imperial Ranger. So that's quite a lot going on there. Alright, so we're going to jump in here and take a quick peek at her kit. Her ultimate ability is a balancing ability, and she's going to teleport behind a random ally and attack their target, dealing 170% damage. This goes up to 240, so she's going to help hit this enemy really hard. If you build her with enough attack, she can one-shot people with this ability and just basically help your allies get through their targets so they can move on to the next one. Her second ability is Aquasphere. It's an AoE ability. She targets the densest enemy area, dealing 180% of attack as physical damage and reducing attack speed and movement by 50% for 6 seconds. So that's a cool ability there. There's an interesting side caveat to this that we'll get to. Her passive, and this is probably why she's most known, is this linear assault. Her basic attack penetrates enemies and deals 105% of attack as physical damage. So again, building her with enough attack, she's going to be doing a lot of damage here, but this is going to go through on her basic attack, and it's going to go through enemies and hit enemies behind them. So what a lot of folks are doing, specifically in Arena and probably for dungeon progression as well, is they actually aren't upgrading this skill at all. So she's either doing Trick Shot or she's doing her basic, because the linear assault is only on her basic attack. So it does not do Trick Shot, it does not do Aquasphere. So you could probably run her and not upgrade either of these skills and see how that does. But I think Trick Shot is a good powered skill that when she does do it, it helps out. Just getting through like a one shot on an enemy, which is kind of nice. But the linear assault is really where she's going to set herself aside from other folks in the game. If you happen to couple this linear assault with her gear, and what you're looking for is you want attack power on the main stat, and then the other thing that you're looking for, and we're actually going to switch that piece of gear out, is, where is it at? I think it's this guy. You would want a substat of crit rate is increased by 30% on the linear assault skill specifically. So basically she has a 30% better chance of critting on each of those extra hits she's getting on her linear assault. So we're actually going to put this on her because that is more important than the attack power, is getting that crit. Ideally you would build her with attack boots and high crit rate. I think our crit rate is going to be about what we have right now. This is just the best gear I have. We don't have any crit rate here or here. But ideally you could build maybe 20 to 30% of crit rate inside of her gear, plus this 30%. She's going to have a 60% chance to crit when she's going through that linear assault. So that could be a big win. So for Derisda, we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to take her into the Great Forge like we have been. But after we run her once, we're going to actually come back and remove this skill and just have these guys leveled up and see if she does better. And that'll be kind of interesting. So we'll jump into the Great Forge and see how she does this first time around. Alright, so we are on to that first room with Derisda here. She does not have any healing in her kit, so all of the damage she's going to take is going to accrue over the entire dungeon. You saw that linear assault right out of the gate, went through 3 enemies. She does quite a bit of damage. Ideally she'd be in attack boots and she'd have attack as a main stat on her crossbow. That would help her out quite a bit. So I think, and she's underpowered by about 100,000 power compared to where we've been trying to get people to be the comparative. So she is working through that level really quickly as a single champion. And that linear assault going through the enemies is really a big reason why. She typically would actually be in the back row to give her a little more space. But the enemies are going to run up on her either way because we don't have a tank up there. But that first ability, you saw it go through there and hit both of those guys. She is doing her Trick Shot now. She's hit pretty hard. She's going to shoot and get this guy back here with that linear assault. Here was her Aquasphere right there, which was slowing people down. Nobody was really in it, but she had it up there. And then again, she's going to hit that with the Trick Shot. And that Trick Shot ability hits pretty hard. Like it'll one shot if you have her built correctly and she's properly on the proper level for where you're fighting, she should one-shot a character with that trick shot ability. All right, so we did get a little bit unfortunate here. We do have the stun coming in here, so if they land those back to back, there's a good chance Derisda is probably going to die. But I think she's one of the first ones that had to tolerate that stun ability, but there might have been another one or two that have done it. I haven't really keeping track. But we're looking at the 5th room here. We should get that linear assault going and try to see the damage. So we got 2 guys got hit by that one there. 3 guys got hit by the next one. She's stunned. Hopefully she can get 1 or 2 of these guys down. She's stunned again. She's coming to. There we go. All right, there we go. Come on, Derisda. So we got 3 guys left. One of them is kind of hanging on by a thread. She has not done, there it is, Aquasphere. So this is going to slow them down, as well as it's an AoE effect. This is looking real close. Oh no! So she did get it, which is actually really impressive for as much as she was getting stunned in that battle. That was actually like really funny because the guy dodged one and then she barely got that off. So and that could be the attack speed on the Aquasphere slowing him down for 6 seconds. He didn't get his attack off, and that was the difference in that fight, which is kind of interesting. But I'm going to go back into her kit. We're going to take off that second skill, and then we're going to bring her back in and see if she does better. So just touching base real quick on that, we basically are just going to go and upgrade this skill all the way, and then as far as we can go on linear assault, and we basically just aren't unlocking this skill or upgrading it. And that way she basically can't use it. So she's going to be doing her basic attack with the linear assault or doing trick shot with the high damage output. And that's going to be the difference in this kit and the way that she's run. Most of the time she's going to be most effective in arena when she's going up against your team, and a lot of those folks are building her this way so that she's not doing that Aquasphere ability. She's only going to one-shot your folks or get that linear assault out there. So we'll get her back here in the Great Forge and see if we can notice a difference. We did get that stun in the 5th room on the last one, which was unfortunate. So if we avoid that, I feel like she's definitely going to do better just because of that. So keep that in mind when we get there, assuming we get there. Maybe we don't. I don't know. All right, so we are in that 1st room. We're going to go ahead and get started now. So every shot she does will be a basic with linear assault, or it'll be trick shot, and there won't be any Aquasphere. So you saw the crit rate come through on that linear assault and knocked out, I think it was 4 enemies in 1 shot, because she happened to crit on all of them, which is a huge benefit. I'm trying to make sure we don't get any healing effects. Less damage from burning. Okay, so this is the one we'd like to avoid when we get into that final room. But that is the benefit of that linear assault. Like, she took out 4 enemies in 1 shot, and she crit on all of them. And the last guy had very limited health, but she was able to wrap it up really easily. So we're gonna get that going again. We got the linear assault coming through. There was a crit there. Another linear assault, and you see those when it's yellow like that, she's doing 95,000 damage with that crit. That was 203,000 with the trick shot, so it does do quite a bit of damage. She can't hit that guy. She kept dodging her, but so when she happens to crit, she'll do about 100,000 of damage, and it'll hit every single person along the way, assuming she crits on all of them. All right, so we made it onto the 5th and final room. We are going to move her to the back just to give her a little extra time as those enemies approach her. And with that linear assault, we should see some damage, although we're going right into trick shot. So maybe we took half that guy's health off in 1 shot. We're going to go ahead. We did not get the stun ability, so it's probably going to be significantly easier for us to get through this room. That guy must just have stun on his kit. So we're, significantly more health. We're taking him out. This guy back here is doing pretty good. He's got immunity. I think that's just from his boss kit here. So dodge. We need to hit him. There we go. Got 90,000 damage right there. So she does do a lot of work. She's going to be a back row damage dealer, probably one of the better ones in the game. The linear assault does a significant amount of work for you. In dungeons, I personally don't know that it's a huge win not to use the Aquasphere, because it does slow the enemies down. It is an AoE ability. But in arena, it seems that every shot she takes, it matters, and those fights are typically pretty quick. So not having Aquasphere in arena could be a big win for her. If you happen to be able to pair her with Grizel, and Grizel has a piece of gear, she increases the attack of the person she's following. So if you build Derisda to be the highest combat power, and then Grizel is boosting her attack by 50%, and then she's got the boost of crit with the 30% on her crossbow, plus attack, plus the attack boots, she can just do a crazy amount of damage with that setup. And that is a very difficult setup to get through. And sometimes you'll be in arena and a team that's way underpowered from you just destroys you, and that might be the reason why. They just have all the right gear. As you can see, I've purchased 2 of Grizel's amulet. I have not been fortunate to get the stat that I was hoping for. So there's 12,000 endless tokens sitting there doing nothing. But it is what it is. It is worth noting though that you do not want Grizel following Derisda in typical battle, because the more she does her trick shot, the less she's doing her linear assault. So it's not really a benefit for Grizel to follow her as you're going through adventure mode. But with that amulet, if you do have the amulet to increase power, having her follow Derisda specifically in arena, you can get extra damage out of Derisda that way. I do want to thank Fidu17. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but he brought that to my attention, as well as the fact that you don't want to upgrade that secondary skill in that specific environment. You will find a little more success there. But outside of that, yeah, Grizel is going to make whoever she's following do their ultimate ability more frequently, and with Derisda and the linear assault, that's not exactly an advantage in adventure mode. So you'd be better off having Grizel follow a different damage dealer in adventure mode. But if you have the luxury of building a specific arena team, then having Grizel follow Derisda in arena, getting that extra damage kind of outweighs the fact that she's going to be doing one extra trick shot every cycle. So hopefully that was helpful. So that's what we got going on in Derisda. Let's jump out to the token trove and take a peek at Derisda and how her value is going. She's currently going for about $3, which is pretty low compared to when I was selling her. You see this is a pretty big drop off that she's been going down, and I think it's just because with fragments in the game of her, the supplies of Derisda is really high. If you want this character, you will get this character. It's just a matter of playing the game over time and accruing those fragments. So if you're looking at getting $3 for her, then it would be a matter of whether or not it makes sense. So we come back to the game and we're looking to ascend this champion. I got a whole bunch of Derisdas going on. I'm working on a new Derisda for my account. It would cost 41 of these ascension seals. And so with the conversion rate 9.25 cents, with the in-game purchase price, you're looking at, what is that, $3.60 or so. If you did the 6 cents or so that it is with the GOG tokens, it would be closer to $2.40, maybe $2.50. So you could be profitable at selling her at $3, make 50 cents every time you want to sell a Derisda. So using those GOG tokens can be a way to make a little bit of money selling each character, but ideally those GOG tokens are something that you can accrue in game through the leaderboards and actually be able to ascend her for free, and then it's entirely profit what you sell her for. So going into my Derisda situation, I built a Derisda right here. She's level 10, so she's completely maxed out on the Enlightenment, and she's Radiance level 2. Realistically, when you get to Enlightenment level 10, ideally your Radiance level should be Radiance level 4 if you get a little bit of luck. So I was unlucky, so I've been building this Derisda in the background. She's Enlightened level 8 and Radiance level 3. And what I mean by that is when you go into here and you use a copy of Derisda that is an NFT, she'll have a % chance of getting Radianced as well as Enlightened. So the Enlightenment will happen no matter what, but the Radiance level may or may not increase. So when I got to Radiance level 3, I had a 68.5% chance of that actually moving up, and I got it. So I'm hoping that from moving from 8 to 9, I can get one more radiance level, potentially from 9 to 10, another radiance level. So I could be as high as radiance level 5, but that would be statistically unlikely. So I'm hoping to get at least a radiance level 4. Then what I'll do is I'll put my Derisda on the token trove. So if we take a look at Derisda on the marketplace, exactly as mine would be, she's Enlightened level 10, Radiance 2. That Derisda is worth $20. So there's not too many up there for sale, but you could, well, I guess there are, but this person wants $80 for theirs. Maybe it's something special. But you could probably get right around $19 to $20 for this Derisda, and then basically all the resources that you've put into her you could recoup. So that's what I'm trying to do with my Derisda, and just kind of get a couple more enlightenment levels out of her to get a little more power. But I definitely need to get attack boots to put on her, and ideally I can get that attack crossbow with the crit rate, just to give her that extra oomph that can make a big difference. Alright, so that's what I got for you today on Derisda. She's an excellent back row damage dealer. She's going to do well for you in arena, is a spot she really shines, but she's also going to do great damage from the back row in dungeons and clearing waves with the linear assault ability. I know people are avoiding this Aquasphere. If you're running her exclusively in arena, I would say I would agree with this. I don't know that it was that big of a difference putting it on during a wave clearing, though. I do feel like there's some merit to having this attack speed brought down for 6 seconds, as well as just AoE damage. With that ability, I think that it does do pretty well. To be fair on the damage, if she's attacking the densest area, her linear assault on a basic probably would do more damage, but it won't slow them down. And so that could be just something to keep in mind depending on how you're using her. But she is a very fun champ so far. She's definitely, our early game is amazing, mid game, and all the way to the late game, she's going to be probably finding a place on your team. So especially if you're free to play, she's going to be one of the best damage dealers in the game for a free to play account. So that's what I got on Derisda. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It means the world to me. We are working up towards about 150 subscribers. When we get to 500, we will be giving away an NFT, and I can't wait to do that. I also look forward to seeing you next time.